Well, still on illegal mining, we'll just go on phone to have a conversation, but we'll bring you that interview shortly. But Cadman Atta Mills, brother of the late President John Evans Atta Mills, has criticized President Mahama and his government's approach. In a post on X yesterday, he said he refuses to, quote, pay for the accolade President Mahama and the NDC are receiving for the city's recovery with his health for life, end quote. He added, quote, call it galamsey or so-called illegal small-scale mining when bankrolled by the politically connected. It is killing us, end quote. His message was accompanied by a 1.5-minute video showing the polluted Ayensu River. Meanwhile, pressure group Fix the Country has announced plans to hold a vigil on Sunday, September 21 at Revolution Square in Accra to protest the ongoing environmental destruction caused by illegal mining. And to go on phone, we're joined by Timothy Selikem Donko via Zoom. Selikem, thank you for joining us this afternoon. So you are convening a protest or a vigil, if you like, on the 21st of September. First question will be, isn't the government doing enough against this minutes in the last 8 months, at least?
Yeah, so thank you for having me and good afternoon to your listeners. I think the issue of whether or not government is doing enough is not based on the political rhetoric from various political actors. While I sat here listening to you talk and then play the recording of the government official, he did indicate that we should be able to assess accountability based on promises from particular political actors, especially the president. I think this analysis is quite unfortunate because when we talk of accountability, we talk of accountability from a sociological point of view. It is based on what the people think need to be done and what has been done, not based on what political actors think ought to be done. The government has been in power for 8 months. If there is a danger to the environment that needs to be prevented, and this danger is so eminent and irreparable in nature that if we allow it to persist for a long period of time, it may cause a damage that cannot be corrected in time. So we cannot...
Indulge me a bit, Selikem. If you vote for, are you voting for a government because of what you think they can do or what the government promised they will do, especially because of the analogy you drew in?
Yes, so in terms of promising, so promises are not made in a vacuum. Promises are made considering assurances of how a particular issue is to be dealt with. Now, again, as I'm indicating, a government has a timeline for 4 years. If we are already 8 months into power, it means 1/5 of the tenure of government might have been already spent. So it means that we are saying that a government can be in power 20% of its time or duration, yet not enough can be done. Now, the issue of assessment is not that the problem has been stalled or the problem has been paused. We are seeing indicators that show that the problem is worsening. So if government is putting in an effort, why is the problem worsening?
Right.
So one way to assess whether or not there is sufficient effort is to assess whether or not the issue is worsening. Now, we saw it recently be advertised in the media that the ECG, the Ghana Water Works, intends to increase its tariff by 200%, and it is due to increasing operational costs. So these are indicators, verifiable indicators that the issue is worsening. Now, if the issue is worsening, it means there isn't enough government effort. So we cannot say that because the government says it's to do with it in 4 years, so we need to wait for 4 years.
We've seen vigils like this one. How different is this one going to be from previous galamsey vigil that was held prior to the elections?
Yeah, so the freedom of assembly itself and the right to protest need not to be unique in every other instance, but you can derive the uniqueness or the particularity from the purposes of a particular vigil. The purpose of this is actually fourfold. First is to educate the people about the effect of galamsey. Second is to create an awareness that when people go on the street and march, other people will see that, okay, there are some national issues that we need to pay attention to.
Right.
The third also is to impose or to express discontent about government policies and efforts. The fourth one is to mount pressure on government. If government sees that a lot of people, over 100 people are marching on the street, these have political repercussions for the government, and then government will take enough steps. So it need not be that when we are doing a historical trace of protests in this manner, it necessarily needs to be that when you are doing a new protest, it needs to be differ in form and kind. It
Right.
only means that there is an opportunity to re-emphasize most of the purposes that were previously brought forth by previous protests.
Telekem, thank you so much for joining us on the news today.